Happy International Women's Day. Welcome to World Humanitarian Drive's first biggest global online event of the year, She's Leader, to celebrate every woman of the world. Women play various important roles in society. Women have come a long way to prove that they are equal of men, but there is still a long way to go. World Humanitarian Drive is with women striving for humanity and equality every step of the way. Here's a brief background about World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Syed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. WHD is joining the world in celebrating International Women's Day. So what is Women's Day? According to internationalwomensday.com, International Women's Day is 8th of March. It's a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality. International Women's Day has occurred for well over a century, with the first IWD gathering in 1911, supported by over 1 million people. Today, International Women's Day is powered by the collective efforts of all. Gloria Steinem is a world-renowned feminist, journalist, and activist. She once said that the story of women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist nor to any one organization, but to the collective efforts of all who care about human rights. A challenged world is an alert world, and from challenge comes change. Let's choose to challenge and celebrate women's achievements. According to unwomen.org, this year the theme for International Women's Day is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. It aims to celebrate the tremendous efforts by women and girls around the world in shaping a more equal future and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, and highlights the gaps that remain. Women's full and effective participation and leadership of all areas of life drives progress for everyone, yet women are still underrepresented in public life and decision-making, which brings us to our event, She's Leader. This is World Humanitarian Drive's way of celebrating all the women who inspire, guide, motivate us to be the best we can be. To all the women who trailblaze the path to equality and have paved the way for us women to follow. This WHD's She's Leader is a tribute to women of the world. Today, we are celebrating with our chief guest, the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. We also have students from various schools, singers, poets, artists, musicians joining us to celebrate International Women's Day. We would like to thank the following for making WHD's She's Leader International Women's Day possible. WHD's Chairman Founder, Dr. Abdul Basit Syed, Secretary General of WHD UK, Eugene Ankuma, WHD team working behind the scenes, including WHD's own superwoman, Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, Croydon Council, Faiths Together in Croydon, our performers, participants, students from various schools, their parents and teachers, academic partners, Lorna John of Oasis Academy, and John Tang of Princess Frederica. Our honorable guest, the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. And to you, our virtual audiences watching from different parts of the world, we encourage you to engage with us. Please help us spread love, hope, and inspiration by sharing this link. Put your comments and Women's Day greetings in the chat box. Let us know also where you are watching. Wherever you are in the world, let us keep you company as we celebrate International Women's Day. And without further ado, let us introduce WHD's chairman and founder, Dr. Abdul Basit Syed. Dr. Abdul Basit Syed is a well-recognized social activist and a British Indian entrepreneur, property and business consultant, vice president at Space Kids India, vice president at International Diplomatic Club Amicability, steering group committee at Faiths Together in Croydon, trustee at Universal Peace Federation, the founder and chairman of an international NGO, World Humanitarian Drive, an organization with 3 important objectives: peace, education, and trade harmony. Dr. Abdul Basit Syed will give the welcome address.
Thank you, Viva. Warm greetings to everyone on International Women's Day. It is a great pleasure and privilege to be welcoming our dynamic chief guest, the Worshipful, the Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. Today's event, she is a leader, stands as an inspiration to all of us. This year's observance falls on a time when our world faces many global challenges, from climate change, inequality, armed conflict, and humanitarian emergencies. Women's rights are fundamental to addressing each of these challenges. We can only build a global solidarity by promoting the rights and dignity of our women and of all. We gather in a spirit of celebration to recognize the manifestly beneficial and vital achievements and contributions of our inspirational women like our Madam Mayor. Within the wider WHD ambit, in the 12 countries of our global operations, there continue to be more women than men. We are proud of this achievement, having gender parity among those who lead our teams around the world. In this few years, we have achieved many notable achievements to support our goal to promote peace, education, and trade harmony with equality of opportunity. I believe investing in women and respecting their human rights is the surest way to lift communities and countries. And this investment will help to achieve the 2030 UN Agenda for Sustainable Development. When we talk about the progress of women, we are talking about the progress of nations. Our event today can lead the way for greater commitment and action. Hence, I feel we should all rededicate ourselves today on many fronts with unbending will to denounce all form of violence in our society, especially against our women and children. This is the essence of today's celebration, and its continuation relies very much on your wonderful, dedicated commitment. On this special day, I call on for a new vision of parity and opportunity so that half the world's population, which is women's, can contribute to all the world's success. This event, She's a Leader, gives us an opportunity to reflect on the road ahead, what remains to be done in our quest for gender parity, and how we might harness our collective energy so that when we look back in our future, we can be proud of our actions. I, as the chairman of World Humanitarian Drive, will continue to support women's rights in every way I can, with every ounce of my energy and with my commitment, as I believe equal opportunity for women is not a gift, but a right. I am humbled and excited today to be in the virtual company of so many children from different schools from around the world, who through their dedication, commitment, and energy have found the courage to speak, perform here in order to register their support to women. So I welcome and thank you all, as yours are profound accomplishments that provide a solid foundation for our future. I'm recalling a saying by Albert Pine: what we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others and the world remains and is immortal. I thank our academic partner, Oasis Academy, Coulston, and Princess Frederica Primary School for their support. John Tang and Lorna John, your support means a lot to us. Thank you. My sincere appreciation to WHD UK Secretary General Eugene Ankuma and Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, for putting in this tremendous effort to get all the performance within a very short duration of time. Finally, to each and every one of you, thank you for joining in this great celebration. Let us all stand together, build a world we are proud to hand down to our future generations. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you for the inspiring welcome address, Dr. Abdul Basit Syed, WHD Chairman and Founder. Now we proceed with Mayor Address. The Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, is a Croydon councillor for the last 6 years. She is a Labour councillor for Addiscombe East, Sales Director of Henson IT Solutions, wife and mother. Councillor Henson was born and bred in the borough. Growing up in South Norwood, she attended Crossfield Nursery, where she is now a governor, and went from there to South Norwood Primary and then Harris Crystal Palace. She has a BA in History from Kent University in Canterbury. She cares passionately about young people and families. The Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, will give her chief guest address.
Thank you so much. And can I start by wishing everyone here and around the world a very, very happy International Women's Day, arguably the best day of the year as far as I'm concerned. And can I do a particular thank you to everybody at WHD for putting this amazing event together. I'd like to take a moment to reflect on what we're actually doing today. We have got people from around the world stopping what they're doing and listening to this event, taking part in it and just absorbing the messages and the power of the event we are putting on, and the scale of the response and the scale of the duty that's beholden on us all to fight continuously for equalities and for a time that I genuinely believe is achievable in our lifetime, where women's opportunities will be comparable to men. International Women's Day was founded 110 years ago to mark the progress that women are making in gender equality, but also to reflect how far we still have to go. I always reflect on a stat which really scared me when I first heard it, which is that there have been more CEOs called John than there have been female ones. Let's just think about that for a minute. John is more, if you're called John, you're more likely to be CEO of a company than if you're female. That can't be right. That just can't be. Women are equally, if not more, capable than men in roles of leadership. As from the incredible introduction that I was given said, that I'm a Croydonian girl. I was born and bred here. I was born in Mayday Hospital. I went to school here. I've got married here. I've had 2 children here. I've started a business here, and now I've had the honour of my life of being made mayor here. And I often reflect the fact that I'm actually the youngest woman ever to do the role in Croydon's history. That's something I'm incredibly proud of, but it isn't something, an honour I should have. There should be people that are younger than me that do this job. It's reflective of the fact that in politics around the world, and in particular in the UK, there is still such an underrepresentation of women. As it was said, I became a politician as a Labour councillor. As mayor, you have no party whip, and very strictly you are equal and see all people from all parties as equal. But one thing the Labour Party has got a reasonably good track record of doing is ensuring an effort towards having gender equality. So if you have more than one council seat, in an area called a ward, which is where you're represented as a councillor, at least one at all times must be a woman. In practice, what that usually ends up meaning is you have one woman and two men. And that was certainly the case the first time I stood for a council. It was myself, someone called Andrew, and someone called Stephen. When I stood again, the ward had changed shape and they was much smaller. So there were only 2 seats. And everyone assumed there would be the one woman and then there'd just be which man got the role. So it was absolute shock to everybody in the room when my running mate, so the lady that stood with me, and the key word in that sentence being lady, was selected first. And then we had the open vote where anybody could stand, and I beat all the men and became the second candidate. So I was one of the few times in Croydon's history where we had an all women well, they call it slate, which means that you have all women standing for it. It was rightly celebrated as being something really special and fantastic and really made a statement. But it shouldn't have to have been. It shouldn't be unusual. It should be perfectly standard. The same as it's perfectly standard to have all men, it should be perfectly standard to have all women. But it was still noteworthy. And it just hit home to me how much that shows that society is still shocked by women that stand up and be counted and become leaders. It was whilst I was standing to be a councillor the second time with my running mate, her name's Cara, it was 100 years to the day since women were given the right to vote. And towards the end of the day, I put out a tweet which said, 100 years ago, women were finally given the right to vote, finally given the right to stand up and say and have an input in the decisions that reflect all of our lives. And exactly 100 years later, I'm standing on an all-women ticket. It took 100 years for that to happen, and then it was still strange and unusual. I think you can never see a better example of how far we still have to go. When I did have the honour of becoming mayor, though, every mayor sets a theme and a focus for what they want to achieve in their mayoral year. For me, it's about children. I'm incredibly proud that I've been able to have 2 children, Leo, who's 6, and Liam, who's just turned 3. I gave birth to both of them just before both times I stood as a councillor. So to become a councillor 10 weeks after giving birth to my first child had an incredibly profound impact on me. But the 2 things I wanted most in the world coming within a few weeks of each other is going to dramatically change how you see the world. When you become a mum, it's like gravity. Suddenly your whole focus shifts. It's not gravity holding you to the earth, it's your children, and it's the desire to leave a better world for them when you're gone. It really spoke to me when you said about the idea that what you achieve for yourself dies with you. What you achieve for the world lasts forever. And what I want to achieve in however long my political career is to make a difference, to help people, and one of the best ways you can do that as a woman is to stand up and say, we are equal to men, and anybody can stand up and become mayor of their hometown if that's what they want to do, given the breaks and given the hard work. Thank you all so much, and I really cannot say enough how honoured I am to be at this event today. Thank you so much, especially to our amazing founder, who's my dear, dear friend Abdul.
Thank you for the honor of being our chief guest and your inspirational message for women of the world, the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. The world needs more women leaders like you who stand up for equality. So children are the future of this world. If we want to have a more gender equal society, we have to involve children as well. We have children joining us to show their admiration and appreciation to the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, and women of the world. So let's start by celebrating Women's Day with the gift of song. Could we have Kate Tavera of Princess Frederica CEVA Primary School?
We are the women, we are the voice, we are the gentle and the brave. We won't shed a single tear as we are resilient in our own ways. We celebrate the women of today. Come on and we celebrate this awesome day. We are the strong, we can all unite. We are the holders of our dreams. We'll stand proud and high today as we make this world a better place. We celebrate the women of today. Come on and we celebrate this awesome day. We are the fighters, we are the joy. We can face the challenges head on. We are not silent anymore as we project our voices and be heard. We celebrate the women of today. Come on and we celebrate this awesome day. Let's hear for our grandmas, for our mamas, and our sisters too. Everyone, let's we celebrate the women of today. Come on and we celebrate this awesome day.
You're muted.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate Tavera of Princess Frederica CEVA Primary School, for your song dedicated to Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, and the Women of the World. So we celebrate the women of today. Now let's proceed with question and answer session with Madame Mayor and students from different schools. I will introduce each student and they will ask a question to our Madame Mayor. For our first batch of students, they are from Oasis Academy. They are back to school today. Madame Mayor Maddie Henson, let's say hi to students at Oasis Academy.
Hi, students. Can't wait to hear what you've got to say. Thank you so much for coming.
Would you like to greet Madame Mayor?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Oasis Academy Council wishes you a happy International Women's Day 2021.
We are honoured and privileged to take part today and also thank the World Humanitarian Drive for hosting this event. Let us use this opportunity to use our voices for change.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. As Mayor of Croydon, what are your plans to teach young people about equality?
Right, what a incredible question to start with. Right, I think the obvious starting point is where I started with my speech, to prove that being a woman, being young, should not be a barrier to achieving whatever your dreams are, and particularly when it comes to being a leader in politics. I've set my focus during my time as mayor, as I said, on children and young people. I've done numerous events. The first big event was something called the Reading Roadshows, and that was about helping people to, during a time when it was safe to do so, come out into social bubbles and enjoy stories by some inspirational women that have written books in Croydon. Women from Croydon that have self-published and have sold loads and loads of copies of their books. The idea being being that, again, being a woman, and there are women of colour as well, shouldn't be and isn't a barrier to achieving your dreams. The next project I did was something called Croydon Connected. And I wrote to all the primary schools and nurseries and many of the secondary schools of the borough and asked them to get every student to create a link to a giant paper chain. The idea being that you can reflect on everything that we've learned over the last 12 months, not just the effects of the pandemic and the fact that the way we're doing this event shows, and the fact that you're doing absolutely the responsible thing, wearing your mask while we're having this conversation. But also on everything we learnt during the summer after the tragic death of George Floyd, and that sparked the international protests for Black Lives Matter. Again, I'm talking about some of the things that I've been so honoured to do, and for my part, something that will stay with me forever was when I was standing there taking the knee that summer, as I already began to understand and what it must be like to have that restriction on you. And I made a promise to myself that I would do everything I could for the rest of my career and the rest of my life to try and make the world a fairer and better place for women, for people of colour, for young people. If I can speak to people and tell people that being the youngest woman ever to the role of mayor can make a difference, then that's what I will do, and I will do it to my dying breath. Women, young people, people of colour, society puts barriers against them, but it shouldn't, and that we are equally, if not better, because we have to fight harder. And I will spend my life presenting that message. I hope that answers the question, though I feel like it was completely inadequate compared to the scale and the meaning behind it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for your answer, Madam Mayor. That first question was from Joshua Kushuru of Oasis Academy, Coldstone. Now let's have the second question from Lucy Barnes of Oasis Academy. So what is your question to Madam Mayor, Maddie Henson?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Can men and women ever be equal?
Thank you, Lucy. I think what a brilliant question, because it just does absolutely cut to the heart of the matter. I have to believe that they can be. I genuinely do believe that we can be equal. As I've said several times, we're a long way away from being right of equality, and that right that we will have to continue fighting for. But yes, it is definitely achievable. And if I can put a request out, that it's people like yourself that will be the ones that might achieve that. I have to believe it's going to be capable in our lifetime, but I think it's going to be people like yourself that will be the ones that finally get us to the stage where we are equal. Do you agree?
Okay. Now let's have the next question.
On behalf of Oasis Academy, we would like to thank Madam Mayor and the World Humanitarian Drive for hosting this event. Thank you.
Thank you. They were absolutely fantastic questions, and just really absolutely perfectly cut to the number of the message we're trying to get through today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now let's have the next question from M. Muhammad Aydin of St. Bede's Academy Senior Secondary School in India. What is your question?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. I would ask you a question. How women can change the world?
So how can women change the world? Yeah, brilliant. These questions are incredible. I think there are some councillors that can learn an awful lot from these questions, to be honest. Stand up and be counted, and never let yourself be judged by other people's opinions of what you can achieve. You are perfectly capable of achieving dreams. If you work hard, and you fight if you need to. Don't let anybody else ever tell you that you're not absolutely as good as anyone else. That's the way to change the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brilliant question. I really am blown away by these. These are amazing.
We have incredible questions from children today. Now let's have the fourth question from Sarah Greci, School Giuseppe Grath in Albania. So Sarah, what is your question for Madam Mayor?
Hello, Madam Mayor. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Albania. I'm Sarah. I'm 11 years old. I study at Giuseppe Grath School in Gjirokastër. I'm in the 5th grade. My question is, Madam Mayor, can you please tell me about an experience of yours as mayor that you will never forget?
God, that is really difficult. There are quite a few that I think will stay with me for a long time. From the reading roadshows I touched on, when that series of events came to an end and I was able to reflect on everything again that we'd begun to learn. Another one that sticks in my mind is 2 years ago, Croydon had a tragedy in that we had a tram overturned and tragically several people lost their lives and others had life-changing injuries. And every year in Croydon, we mark the anniversary of that terrible day. Normally, it's one of those really huge events where hundreds of people from Croydon come. In a COVID world, that's obviously not possible, and it's definitely shouldn't happen because it's not safe. So what we did was I quietly went as mayor in the chain that you can see I'm wearing now, and just stood and just took a moment where I thought about and paid respect to those that lost their lives. I thought it was going to be quiet. I thought it would literally just be me because we were trying to slip in under the radar in order to prevent large gatherings and for safety reasons. But there was already several people at the first of the memorial sites. And one of them came up to me and said, "Are you there?" I said, "Yes, I'm here just quietly, just to pay my own personal respects." And they said, "Do you mind speaking?" So I planned to make a speech when I got to the town hall, which I was going to have recorded and going to send out over Facebook. So I had some words prepared, but I was not prepared for seeing the families face to face and presenting to them. So I had to do the speech with very little preparation and seeing the pain and the grief, but also the hope for the future that I saw in the eyes of that family as I spoke to them about how heartfelt my grief on their behalf was and how Croydon was still reflecting on that terrible day. And just being able to, wouldn't claim that I was able to give them comfort as such, but I was able to share in that very, very proud and private moment for those people. And it made me realise that if nothing else, what the job of the mayor is to be, to be the leader and to work with people and to give them whatever they need in that moment. That's what a leader should be, is someone that gives inspirational leadership, but also joins with people in whatever their emotion of that moment is, whether it's joy and happiness like it was at the road shows, or grief like it was at the on the anniversary of the tram tragedy. A leader needs to be what people need them to be in that moment. So that's, I think, when I realised that is what will probably stay with me most of all.
Thanks for your answer. I've prepared a drawing for you. A happy 8th of March.
That is incredible. Thank you so much. And you're so right. Being a woman is a superpower. It's the best superpower in the world because we are able to be, as I said, what people need us to be in a way that men never could. Thank you so much. I will treasure that forever.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah Grachi, for that special surprise for Madame Mayor. So these are really insightful questions. Now let's have the 5th question from Harith Muhammad of our own English high school in Sharjah, UAE. What is your question for Madame Mayor? Harith Muhammad.
Happy Women's Day, Madam Mayor. I have a question for you. How do you manage a life as a mother and a politician?
Now, I've been trying to work that out myself for a long time. Thank you for the question. The truth is, from the reality of being a mayor and being a business owner and a mum is that no 2 days are alike. So a lot of planning. I've got boards just sitting up here next to me where I combine all of my different virtual diaries into one place, and my husband and I sit down once every week and just go through and look at there's any pinch points where either the children need extra looking after, or if there's going to be a point where we're double booked. But the truth is, to plan, you have to organize yourself, and you have to make, just when you're doing that, just sit down and make sure that no aspect of life is being neglected at any one time. There is very much a danger, as you said, in being a mum, that your children miss out in those moments, and there's nothing I'd hate more than my children's losing out because of the job and because of what I wanted to do. So I sit down, I always make sure that I make time for them, always make sure I take time for my kids and for Croydon. I would say also I'm incredibly lucky because I've got a very, very supportive family with consort and husband Mark, or my incredible parents Julie and Steve, who are a large part of the reason why I've been able to achieve what I have been able to achieve, because they always instilled in me this idea that, yeah, they've stopped me achieving what I wanted to achieve. So I owe a huge debt of gratitude to them. Thank you so much. It's incredible for people from all the world.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and happy International Mother's Day again.
Happy International Women's Day to you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's have the sixth question from Shania Facey Ballard of St. Cyprian's Greek Orthodox School, UK. What is your question for Madame Mayor?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you, WHD, for having us. My question for you is, what are your hopes for the children of Croydon for the future?
Well, I suspect the obvious starting point is equality. I genuinely have to believe and desire that the children that grow up in Croydon today, their future will see a more equal society. And a society that doesn't judge them gender, by the colour of their skin, by from how rich or poor their families were, what a society, from a society that is designed and is equal. Croydon is so lucky that we've got the youngest borough demographic here, which means we've got the most young people of any borough in London and of many boroughs in the whole of the UK. And it's something Croydon is incredibly proud of and takes very, very seriously. And I want a world for those people where they are given every opportunity to be the best that they can be.
Thank you for asking.
Always, I'm genuinely so touched by and impressed by these questions. They just really are right on the button.
Thanks, you to guys. All. Thank you to all the international students for their participation and asking great questions, and Madame Mayor Councillor Maddie Henson for answering them wonderfully. Now we proceed with poetry session by Esme Hodge of Princess Frederica CEVA Primary School.
Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod on me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you so beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air I'll rise. Out of the hut of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Thank you to Esme Hodge of Princess Frederica CEVA Primary School for sharing that wonderful poem by Maya Angelou. Now we head to art display by 4 artists. Michelle Baharier, she's sharing a Statue of Liberty and a self-portrait. Cindy Apia Kubi Ilaria, she's going to be sharing Don't Touch My Her. Nick Fenn, she'll be sharing A Flight of Women. And Tiana Samuel, the Black Poet.
My name is Michelle Baharia, and I'm here to celebrate International Women's Day with you. I'd like to show you some of my artwork. And firstly, I'm going to show you my painting of the Statue of Liberty. In this painting, the Statue of Liberty is crying. She's crying because Donald Trump got in for half an hour. Anyway, he's gone, so let's hope this International Women's Day, the Statue of Liberty will smile. This is another portrait that I'm sharing with you. This is a self-portrait of me. I experience what's known as complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It is caused by gaslighting and by abuse. It's quite common that many women experience throughout their lifetime either abuse or sexual violence. On International Women's Day, let's remember those women and also put an end to that kind of acceptable behaviour, which I think a few might know. Happy International Women's Day, and thank you from me.
Hi everyone, my name is Cindy, I'm 25 and I live in London. I go by the name Cindar. I started doing some art last year during the pandemic, and my art is mainly about celebrating Black beauty and especially Black women. And the piece I'll be talking about is about a girl called Yara Shahidi, and it's called Don't Touch My Hair. And there's a perception of Black women and their natural hair not being professional, not being beautiful enough. And by this piece I just wanted to show how beautiful Black women are and how beautiful natural hair are, and it should be protected and not insulted.
So for my International Women's Day submission, I have drawn a picture of Amelia Earhart, who was one of the first women to ever cross the Atlantic by herself, and Mary Jackson, who was one of the first Black women to work for NASA as an engineer. Now for me, this feels like a very personal idea, because it's all about achieving your goals, flying towards your dreams. I guess for women it's more relatable because it's all about being treated as equal, not being overlooked, and just being accepted for being a woman, just like how men should be accepted for being men.
Hi, my name's Tyna Samuel, and I'm the second twin of the Samuel twins. I really enjoy doing art. This is digital art, and this whole art piece is called The Black Poet, and this is actually inspired by Amanda Gorman, because she's an activist but very young one. I really enjoy doing artwork, and this whole piece of art was just me exploring the app named Critter, because I was using it on my laptop, but I couldn't install an app that I wanted. But there was another version named Critter, so I decided to explore. There's loads of different stuff, and I'm teaching myself how to use this app. It's very complicated.
Why do you love art?
I love art because you can do many different stuff with it.
Thank you to the 4 artists for sharing your creativity with us. Michelle Baharir, Statue of Liberty in a self-portrait. Cindy Apia Kubi Ilaria, she shared Don't Touch My Hair. Nick Fenn, he shared Flight of Women. Tiana Samuel shared The Black Poet. And now we have an art display and spoken word poetry by Bella Tran. She's an artist, actress, and poet.
So this piece is called Womanhood. She is a portal from the spirit world into the physical. It's magic, it's mystical. A natural creator, she is more than just a physical. A limitless being. She is vulnerable yet strong. She can be right, she can be wrong. Some of us get emotional and some of us don't. Some of us get in tune and some of us won't. Some of us are aloof and stay in our booth. Some of us are chill and don't see what's the deal. Some of us protect the young and some of us won't. Some of us want children and some of us don't. She can be good, bad, quiet, loud, unbalanced or balanced. She can nurture and feed, or she can nurture the weed. She can nurture the seed, or she can sit here and bleed. It's our choice, our body, our voice. So just a little piece of advice. If you hear us the first time, don't make us say it twice.
Thank you for sharing your art display and inspiring spoken word poetry, Bella Tran, artist, actress, and poet. Now we'll have some music with a young violinist, Charlotte Grigg of Princess Frederica CEVA Primary School. Thank you, Charlotte Grigg of Princess Frederica CEVA Primary School, for sharing your musical talent with us. And there was also a backup pianist, her teacher, I suppose. Thank you. And now we proceed to valediction. All those performances were to give a tribute to the worshipful mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, and Women of the World. Could we please ask what you thought about the performances and what you would like to say to them, Madame Mayor, Councillor Maddie Henson?
I can hardly bring the words to say. I was so blown away by everything that I've seen today. The performances were absolutely out of this world. From, you know, the incredible talent there is out there, but it still doesn't prepare you for it when you see it like that, from when you see it performed in front of you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. If I had an ounce of the talent that you all have, I would be very happy. I was born tone deaf and with very little ability to write poetry or sing. Or I chose to try to play music, but I never got past the basic one notes. Thank you all so much, and I will treasure all of this incredible artwork, performing and written and spoken, that I've seen today. Thank you all so much. What a truly extraordinary event. I really am lost for words, which doesn't happen very often. Thank you.
Thank you. World Humanitarian Drive is grateful for the contribution of each and every participant who shared with us their valuable time and talents today. WHD would like to award them with a certificate of appreciation in commending their valuable participation in this global event, She's Leader, on the occasion of celebrating International Women's Day 2021 under the patronage of the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. Awarded on March 8, 2020, signed Dr. Abdul Basit Syed, founder and chairman of WHD, and the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. We would like to award Kate Tuvera, Joshua Kushuro, Lucy Barnes, Muhammad Aydin, Sarah Grachi, Harith Mohammed, Shania Facey Balliard, Esme Hodge, Michelle Baharier, Cindy Apia Kubi Ilaria, Nick Fenn, Tiana Samuel, Bella Tran, Charlotte Grigg, Isla Facey Ballard, Pablo Maddox, Casey May Midgley, Archie Goodman, Finley Goodman, Daniel Hill, Aiden Clark, and Daniel Irwin. Thank you to our international students for taking part in WHD She's Leader, giving tribute to the Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, and the women of the world. On this portion, WHD has prepared a video of International Women's Day wishes. Let us all watch it.
Hello everyone, I hope you guys have an amazing and lovely International Women's Day.
Wishing all you lovely ladies a happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
All the ladies a happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Happy International Women's Day to all the amazing women out there.
Wishing all you lovely ladies happy International Women's Day. Have a blessed day.
Thank you to all those who sent in their Women's Day greetings. And now we proceed with vote of thanks. Mr. Eugene Ankuma is an internationally respected visual artist, mentor, and personality. Born in London, he is known for his many innovative, groundbreaking art projects, styles of art, ever-evolving fashion sense, and characters he creates within his work. Having shown his work in many countries in Europe, Africa, and the US, he is an artist who has successfully enjoyed an art career for over 25 years, with many art awards under his belt. Eugene is dedicated to raising others to invest in their talents and helping them to realize their own potential. Mr. Eugene Ankuma is also the Secretary General of WHD UK. Mr. Eugene Ankuma will give his vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Viva, for such a lovely introduction. Firstly, I may like to express our sincere thanks to the Worshipful, the Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson. I love your spirit. I have to add that. So thank you so much. We very much appreciate your time, words of encouragement and wisdom. I am certain all students and participants here and those watching right now or later will take great strength from your inspiration, especially the wonderful example that you are to all of us, male or female, I have to add. So thank you so much. I also want to say a big thank you to our founder chairman, Dr. Abdul Basit Syed, for your encouraging words, for your support, and for being the strong pillar that you are, that is motoring and pushing forward everything that is in regards to WHD. So thank you for the good human being that you are. Thank you so much. I extend further thanks to Princess Frederica, a wonderful school in the northwest of London. Thank you so much, Mr. Tang, and your wonderfully talented students. Yep, I can see you all, love those smiles. A huge well done to each and every single one of you. You have done your school real proud. Well done. Likewise, a huge, huge thank you to Oasis Academy, based in Croydon, obviously. I love the relevance of your questions, the strength of your questions, and I'll tell you what, in the hands of such conscious young people, I truly believe the world will be a better, fairer place, especially for women, right? So huge, huge well done to all of you. To each of the artists represented here, what a wonderful contribution to this beautiful celebration. Thank you for enlightening us with your creativity and with your visions. We very much appreciate you and wish you continued success. So thank you so much for giving our eyes such, beauty to look at. And not least, I just want to say a huge big thank you to Miss Sarah Wilson, who is behind the scenes. She's like the puppet master. She pulls all the beautiful strings together and then she weaves a beautiful event. So Miss Sarah Wilson, we thank you so much for everything that you do. And once again, I want to wish everybody a happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Eugene Ankoma, WHD Secretary General UK, for your tremendous efforts to get all the performances making this online celebration possible and your inspiring vote of thanks. International Women's Day is to celebrate women of the world and acknowledge wonderful women, starting with those in our lives, our grandmothers, mothers, sisters, aunts, daughters, friends. Let's let them know that we love, respect, and value our relationship with them. We would like to share a quote by UN Women. She leads with compassion. She advocates for equality. She promotes diversity. She designs solutions. She breaks stereotypes. She speaks up for inclusion. She stands up for human rights. Women everywhere are changing the world. Let us all choose to challenge status quo. Let's choose to change for the better. Let's respect everyone and all humanity. This has been World Humanitarian Drive, She's Leader. If today's online event inspired you, please share the link with your family and friends. Share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit our WHD website, www.whd.org.uk for more inspiring events. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. On behalf of WHD team, we thank you for the honorable time. We thank you, the Honorable Worshipful Mayor of Croydon, Councillor Maddie Henson, and our WHD team behind the scenes, Ms. Sarah Wilson, and our Chairman Founder, Dr. Abdul Basit Syed, our virtual audience from around the world for joining us on WHD's She's Leader. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn. Happy International Women's Day.